QR codes to donate. Fundraiser.
So I was back there trying to find a way out here instead of coming up here and doing this, and turns out they put us in the groom's room, and there's literally no exits. So I was told the first thing, whatever you do when you come up here, don't apologize, but I'm going to apologize. Like, sorry, I tried to save you all, but literally no exits. I just can't get over it. Very smart of them. My name is Nicole. I have ADHD and OCD. I'm so glad y'all could get dressed up for this meeting. But no, in all seriousness, my OCD is, I do some of that monk, if you ever watch that, yes, like, all my plates have to be in rainbow order, and my salt and pepper shakers have their places, all that good stuff, but mine mostly revolves around obsessive thoughts. So I tried to figure out if I wanted to hold a microphone, or, have it in this little stand. So I started going on YouTube, watching, stand up and seeing, like, what do they do? It's like 7 hours later, I decided, yes, I'm holding the microphone. So then, the bad thing about this obsessive thoughts thing is that I can go around and around and around. I'm sure there's some people in here that are like that. Anybody watch Dateline or have a spouse, significant other, or best friend that watches Dateline and loves to tell you every single second of it? You might as well have watched it yourself. Yes, that is me. And my poor husband has to deal with that. I was going to make a joke about Goldsmith being on HBO, which is now called Max, because my poor husband came home and had to hear about the documentary every single second. But then like a good hour of, I thought Goldsmith and Huber should have been on it more, because the Greater Lafayette area is so awesome. So if anybody else does that, look at that significant other, especially if they're here. How many of you have significant others? Not necessarily here, but in general. Okay, so my poor husband, he puts up with the ADHD and the OCD. Not only Dateline things, but just a whole lot of things. I was very lucky. I got to meet him at Purdue. Yes, that's what I was hoping for. But I met him at Purdue when I was still a college student, and that's where everybody looks like they have ADHD. So the poor guy had no idea what he was getting into. I procrastinate, I have no motivation, and I self-medicate, but I have really cute names like Thirsty Thursday. So no idea, like poor guy. But I got him, and I was smart enough to marry a Catholic, so he was like, nope, can't go anywhere with that. So really stuck. I highly recommend it. So once it started to come out what he married, he had to develop a model, because otherwise, what's he gonna do? Right? You've all done this, and we do this when we're running, right? Like wearing the shirt, I run for wine, right? I bet that table right there is got this. Yeah, he develops no such thing as a dull day. Which is pretty much true, because the poor man has no idea what he's coming home to at all, ever. The greatest example of this was probably when we decided to paint and put up new trim in our foyer. This sounds like, super easy. He leaves me to it, he goes to work. Well, I realized the paint I picked out is not going to go with this really ugly tile, which the sledgehammer did not take care of. So then I think, well, what can I do? Because, I've already kind of sledgehammered up enough, but I can't get enough off. And I want it to be fixed by the time he gets there. Has anybody ever done this? You're starting on a project, and you're like, I've got to get it done before, my roommate or spouse comes home and we're in trouble. So I'm like, summer's got to rent jackhammers. And so I do. I go in to, I think it was Midwest Rentals. Weird, all the stuff that they have there. And I walk up, they think I'm there for a kid's birthday party, because this would make sense, but instead I tell them I need a jackhammer, though I forgot the name, because that's also something that happens with ADHD. You forget the name of things. So I'm like, that thingy that they like on the roads and like the guy, and he's like, oh, a jackhammer? I'm like, yeah, that. I need that for tile. Which his face is just, what kind of tile do you have? Like, do you live in a bunker? It's like, no, trust me, this was just built in like the 50s. It's just the way they did it back then. So I get that, I start jackhammering when I get home, which isn't the easiest. Then I realize I really hate the carpet that butts up to it. It's old, it's ugly, and it's really not gonna match what's in my head with the tile. So after leaving a few holes in the ground, I start ripping up the carpet, but then I realize that the stairway is the same carpet. So I have to rip that up too. Then I realized I've made a really big mess with the jackhammer. So I get a wheelbarrow, which I'm really proud of myself. I remembered what I was doing. Which, if any of you have ADHD, you go to get something and then you find another thing. So I can't believe from my foyer to my wheelbarrow, I didn't end up on another project. I was very proud of myself. But I get there, and I get the tile and some of the, I think it was cement, which it was the 50s, I don't know. So I load this in, and I'm gonna go push it out to somewhere that makes sense to get rid of it. But then I realized that there's this part of the yard that's had a runoff issue. And I want to fix that. And I think maybe the cement's gonna do that. So I go to do that. I end up with shovels and that rake thingy, I can't remember the name of it, like short rakes. So I'm doing that, I'm molding this, I'm packing in cement, and I hear my cousin calling for me. I'm like, oh, back here. And he comes and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm fixing the runoff. And he's like, with what? And I was like, I don't know. What? And he's like, I've been in the foyer. Could you tell me what it was that was going on in there? And I'm like, what foyer? Because when you have ADHD, out of sight is out of mind. There is no, once I walk away from it, it is like, it doesn't exist anymore. So I literally look at him, not understanding at all what he's talking about. Then remembering, oh yes, this stuff I'm using, that's to fix the runoff. Oh, yes, I know what happened. And he's like, yeah, I came home to literally 3 holes that I can see into the basement. And what happened to the carpet? And I was just like, well, you know that painting that we talked about? I started it. So, yeah, the poor guy, he deals with that. And you may think I'm joking, but he has came home to a third of our house, siding ripped off. Didn't like a flower box. And it just snowballs from there. I try not to do these things to him. I did say, our working on the house goes so well for us, what about a baby? That will surely be something I won't out of sight, out of mind, right? I mean, it's built with its own sirens. So, I think we'll be good. And plus it's half me, half you, so it'll be perfect, right? So he's like, yeah, let's do that. So we make the first one. Well, the thing is that after about 5 weeks, she was actually sleeping, and her siren had went off. So then he says, hey, you want a baby? And I forgot, I already made one. So I was like, heck yeah, let's do that. It's like 4 babies later. Yeah, I finally remembered when he went for a 5th. Oh wait, no, because these little things follow me everywhere. I can't shower, I can't eat, I can't go to the bathroom. They literally, I have woken up in the middle of the night and they're staring, over my bed. There's no more out of sight, out of mind with them when it comes to that. I mean, the 4th one has literally gotten to where she's coming, and I hear the shh, 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 like a horror movie. And I mean, it makes me scared to do anything at this point, but you know, I'm glad that I have them because they think I'm the funnest mom ever. Because when you have ADHD, you're very spontaneous. I mean, it's not really that, we just call it that. Mostly it's that, you know, we forgot any consequences for anything else we've ever done. So I was like, yeah, fun mom. So my poor husband comes home one day, and he walks in, and he's like, what is that smell? And it smells like something's burning. He wasn't wrong, dinner was burning. And the kids, why are they in their underwear in a tree? And I'm just like, I don't know, front or back of the house? Front of the house. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I was busy fashioning these things as I bring baby goats in, which we do, we have goats and baby goats. And then instead of paying attention to the dinner and then my kids in underwear in a tree, I fashioned the cutest little diapers. And they were running around their living room, which, you know, was being like the fun mom. But no, I get them back a lot of times where they're, you know, staring at me when I'm sleeping, staring at me when I shower. So I get them back by the fact that I am also super bad at buying gifts. So much so that my second child, who happens to be a really awesome artist, and she was like this big, became my gift illustrator. So I would just have her draw pictures of the gifts that everybody was supposed to get, and then I would wrap them. And I sadly did this so much that the poor child thought this was a job she could have when she got older. So she asks me, how much could I make as a gift illustrator? And I was like, honey buns, most mommies actually remember to buy birthday presents. So, you know, but they're used to it, they get it, they like to, oh, see, here, I forgot my ending even. I told you I'd probably do this. But no, so I ended up forgetting to write the end for this today. I realized I hadn't made a good wrap, right? So I had my second child draw and color and make a really pretty the end. And then it turns out that I actually did forget it back there when I was trying to escape. So,